I was diagnosed with ADD inattentive.
I have depression and anxiety.
Yeah, PTSD from sexual assault and domestic violence.
I have some resulting anxiety issues and occasional depressive issues.
I've had issues with disordered eating, and I have unspecified learning disorders that deal with executive function.
I wasn't diagnosed until, was it like 2 summers ago, when I sent myself to rehab because things were just not going well.
I like drinking water in the morning, like a lot of water. You know, it's like weird, but like it's just like my favorite thing to just like, well, like my first thing I do when I wake up is I just like, alright, feel like my Nalgene.
I also really like brushing my teeth. I have to brush my teeth the second I get out of bed or I don't feel awake.
So I try to like do 3 or 4 things every day to make sure that like I'm doing something right for my health.
That first sip of coffee. Like, I'm walking to class, I'm outside, I'm finally outside, and I just take like a really big long sip of coffee.
I have a really hard time switching from task to task, so getting out of bed in the morning is really hard. If I'm reading or if I'm on my phone, I can't just decide to stop and get up.
Everything that I do takes about 3 times as long as a typical person.
When I'm dealing with like a depressive episode, my energy levels are really low, so it can be really hard to find the energy to do more than get out of bed. Like doing laundry is a really hard thing for me sometimes.
When I first came back from rehab, I was still very terrified around male teachers and I'm a bit shaky. I still have it now where like if I'm running late to class and if I get really anxious about things, it's kind of like you start getting in your head and then I kind of get stuck. That's my biggest thing is I will freeze. And it can look like I'm 100% here, but like I'm not present.
Even for people who have all these issues, like who are able to keep it so buried, like the effort that it must take to appear put together at all times.
Just keeping to a schedule is not something that everybody can handle.
I tell people that I'm struggling and they don't believe me. They're like, oh, but you never seem to worry about anything. Like, well, it's just, you have to pretend to be together or people think that you're crazy. But then when you admit that you have a problem, you don't get accommodated in the way that you should.
Most of the people who I've known who I've afterwards learned that they had a problem with depression or something were people who I never in a million years would have thought of.
It's like I can't just have a note and be like, by the way, I had a panic attack today, it really sucks. It's hard to like have that conversation, and I think like people are like, oh, just like deal with it, get over it. It's like not that simple. It's not, I can't like put a band-aid on it and make it go away.